Hello everyone, this is Dieter from Retro Gaming, and today I wanted to talk with you about the Exo Request Platform, what we can do to automate the Exo Request Platform. So let's take a look. So here we have the Exo Request Platform, as you guys know it in the game. And when we interact with the platform, we get something called the interface tool. And the interface tool is something very common with all the items that have interfaces to them, right? There is sort of like a display, left and right button, and a green or red button to activate it. And as you guys can see, there is no automation button, right? So the Exo Request platform has not been automated for the last two holiday events. So there was the Halloween event and the holiday cheer event, right? For both of these, the platform was not automated, and you also were not able to use storage sensors or button repeaters for that platform. So here's my opinion why the Exo Request platform was not automated in time for these events. So let's take a look at that. Let's say that we have here our Exo Request platform, right? And we put event items on it, right? So it could have been for the holiday cheer event, stellar objects or cosmic baubles, something like that, right? So we put those event items on the rocket, and then the rocket takes off, right? And the rocket flies through the clouds somewhere, goes somewhere, no one knows where. And when it returns, sometimes there are event rewards, right? So it comes back and we have those event rewards. There can be different rewards, sometimes resources, sometimes items or sensors or buttons, that kind of stuff, right? So now, if we have automation in place, and I had that in the game, the automation will add additional event items, including the event rewards. The event rewards, if you don't take them off the rocket, they stay on the rocket, and the event items get automatically added to the Exo Request platform rocket, right? So now, if the rocket takes off, it takes off with the reward items and the event items. So the rocket then goes off through the clouds and comes back, and eventually this rocket will fill up with reward items over time, right? So you will have more reward items, and the automation would keep sending the full rocket, so to say, right? Because it's full with items, until the player runs out of bytes, out of research bytes, right? And that would keep repeating indefinitely. So the rocket would eventually be full, the automation would send it off, it would come back, the automation recognizes the rocket is still full, will send it off, and so forth. So that is, I think, the reason why the Exo Request platform was not automated. Here in this example, you see there's event rewards, right? We see the arrow is pointing to a silicon. There's also an iron, a diamond, a graphene, and an aluminum alloy, right? And on the other side, we don't see there would be a titanium, right? That was a typical set of rewards. You get sort of six reward items, 6 resources as reward, right? But also we see that my automation put up an event item as well. In this case, this is a stellar object item, right? So we have both. So now, how do we enable the automation for the Exo Request platform? And so my idea is we take a look at the interface tool, right? That is just a zoomed version of that interface tool, how it looks like. And pay attention to these dots here, right? We see that there are 3 dots and the middle dot is activated, right? So the first dot would sort of be the event description, right? And it has some information about the current event, that sort of thing. Then the second dot, that's the one that is active that we see here. It shows how far you are in the progression of adding items to the existing, to the rocket that is currently at your base, and where you are in the progression of getting the next care package goal achieved, right? Which in this case was 2,000 points, right? There's other information as well, like for example, the amount of bytes that I had at that time, which was 652,000. It will also tell you that it takes 500 bytes to send off the rocket. And it also tells you the total amount of bytes that I had in the event, which is 362,500, right? And the third sort of say panel that exists here, in my experience, it was out of order, right? It wasn't really working. It wasn't doing anything. So my idea here is to use this and use it more efficiently, right? This is a very simple interface, and I think by expanding that interface a little bit, there's no changes required to the Exo Request Platform, to the rocket, to anything, except we need to update the user interface a little bit, right? So my idea is to not to bring down event rewards unless the player requests delivery, right? So the rocket would never bring down event rewards, but it would sort of keep an inventory of all the rewards that the player earned, and the player would have to actively choose to get these rewards delivered. And let's take a look how this would look like, right? So let's say here, this is the new Exo Request interface, right? And you see here at the bottom that the third dot is now active. And there's a bunch of more dots available here, right? So specifically, you see here, right? There's the third one is active, and there's a total of 10 dots, right? So if this would be sort of like a PDA or like a tablet or something like that, right? You would have an interface. The first card is the same, the second card is the same. Now the third card plus some number of additional cards is what the system would keep track of, right? So in this specific case here, this is the iron, titanium, aluminum alloy, graphene, diamond, and silicone reward that the player achieved. And you can imagine that, let's say, the next card will then have the 2 solid fuel jump jets. That was also an event reward that you could achieve. And the next card would have the button repeater, the storage sensors, power sensors, and the battery sensor, which I believe were the rewards from the event, and so forth. So the next card then would be a solid fuel jump jet. The next card would be again the items, and so forth, right? So this is how that would look like in the game. That you then could sort of cursor through the cards using the left and the right button to see which of these cards you want to have delivered to your Exo Request platform. And if you choose one of these and you hit the green button, now in this case, it will do a delivery. It won't do send off items, reward items. It would go and fetch reward items, right? It wouldn't send off event items. It would go and fetch reward items. And so that, in a nutshell, is my idea of how we can automate the Exo Request platform. And if you have any suggestions, comments, or feedback, please put that in the comments down below. Thank you very much. That is all that I had for today. I wanted to share with you guys. Let me know if you have any other ideas. You guys take care. Have a good day.